Hello, everybody. My name is Nick Vasigi, and I'm here with the news. We're going to talk about the global news, the U.S. news, the New Jersey news, the sports news, and the weather. Enjoy it. Hope everyone does.
In the next story on today's nightly news, we're on the topic of El Chapo Jr. Many know of him because of his dad, El Chapo, the famous drug kingpin for plenty of years. El Chapo Jr. these past weeks, the son of the famous drug kingpin, has been captured on January 7th, 2023, after authorities busted him somewhere in the streets of Mexico. Don't ask me, just the news guy. Anyways, however, after this arrest, the streets of Mexico were in shambles. I mean, some might have even mistaken it for Afghanistan back in the days. But anyways, the Sinaloa Cartel, which is a lead supplier of fentanyl in Chicago, which has taken the lives of many with their distribution of violent drugs like fentanyl, which looks like candy, so many kids get their hands on it, and it goes from there. And the Sinaloa Cartel have also killed policemen throughout these past weeks, and even earlier this month. And the violence is still underway while Guzman is captured. And the world still waits to see what they do with him, whether they release him or put him in jail, but I'm out.
Our first U.S. news story we're covering are the horrific Idaho murders. It all started in the early morning of November 13th, 2022. 4 University of Idaho students were killed by the accused Brian Christopher Kohberger. He is 28 and a criminology graduate student at the University of Washington, just 4 miles from the residence of the murders. The students' names were Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Goncalves. Just hours before the event, on the night of November 12th, best friends Mogen and Goncalves were out at a local bar and food truck, and couple Chapin and Kernodle were at a frat party. All 4 students were said to be back in their homes at 2:00 a.m. on November 13th. Police have determined the murders took place around 4 and 4:25 a.m. Information released from an affidavit revealed a surviving roommate heard talking from Kernodle's room around 4 o'clock, and Kernodle was active on the app TikTok at 4:17 a.m. The surviving roommate also stated she saw the murderer walk past her, wearing all black and a black ski mask, while she stood there shocked. The murderer left behind a knife sheath with the U.S. Marine Corps symbol on it. The police tracked down Kohberger to his Pennsylvania family home through Nationwide DNA database. He was arrested on December 30th, 2022, after a little over a month and a half of investigating. Right now, Kohberger is back in Idaho, awaiting his next court hearing to be set the last week of June of 2023. The families of the victims and the people around the country are devastated by this horrific event and are hoping justice is served accordingly.
A 62-year-old Union County man dies after falling off a ladder while removing Christmas lights from his home on Saturday morning. Authorities said the Union Township resident landed on a concrete walkway outside his 2-story home on the 900 block of Ray Avenue at about 11:50 a.m. Saturday, Township Police said in the statement.
Now we're on the weather. Today we're going to be talking about Hurricane Nicole, the hurricane that emerged in around November of 2022. Now this hurricane caused a really big deal, especially because it hit right before Hurricane Ian, which also took a very big toll on the Florida and lower eastern areas. Now, Nicole was just the 4th November hurricane in landfall in the U.S. in the mainland ever recorded, dating to the mid-19th century. It's his first hurricane in the mainland since Hurricane Kate that struck the Panhandle in 1985. This caused serious flooding and occurred alongside St. John River, the part of Florida, and the part that was flooded during Hurricane Ian about 6 weeks after. This hurricane emerged in the Great Antilles and was just a very bad tropical storm and emerged from just a little thing in the tropical area and emerged to Florida. Now this was a hard year for Florida with the hurricanes, and especially this didn't help, especially.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Nick Vasigi, and I'll be talking sports with you. Right now, we're going to talk about Damar Hamlin. After a hyped up Cincinnati Bengal game versus the Buffalo Bills, in the first quarter, T. Higgins caught the ball and Damar Hamlin tackled him. But all of a sudden, he just fell down to the ground. When no one knew what happened, a lot of stuff just happened. Later on, we found out he went into cardiac arrest, and luckily, their athletic trainer, Nate Bresky, did CPR to Damar for 10 minutes straight so that Damar can live and breathe. What a great guy. A big shout out to him for not stopping the CPR. A few days later after the incident, Damar woke up, felt his fingers move, his toes wiggled, and that's it. True blessing. And Damar has been discharged from the Buffalo Hospital, is now his home. It's a great story. Another cool story for him is that his toy drive wanted, at least the goal was $2,500. It's now up to over $8 million. Truly incredible. Thank you.
Westfield art teacher faces drug charges after falling unconscious in his classroom, being revived with Narcan. They found Frank Thompson unresponsive on the classroom floor. Thompson was seen in distress by students and was being treated by the school nurse. Police later charged Thompson with possession of an uncontrolled Narcan, possession of drugs, and endangering the welfare of a child. He is scheduled to appear in court on February 1st, 2023.
In this next story, many may have even heard about this already, but throughout the year 2022, Russia had been invading Ukraine for territorial control, as well as for other classified reasons. Ukraine lost many throughout the fight that had actually began in the year of 2014. Things have picked up in terms of fighting, though, throughout these last few years, and especially throughout the year 2022. Many lives were lost on both sides of the battle, and many civilians were harmed too. Good news is, though, at the start of this year, 2023, Ukraine has gained territorial control over their capital cities and many cities scattered around, and they're slowly rebuilding their economy after this ongoing war with Russia. It has also been seen that they now have decreased numbers in homelessness, as well as parts of Ukraine have electricity again and increased food supply. Though the war has slowed down, all of the U.S. and fellow members of NATO stand with Ukraine and all of the people lost throughout this ongoing war. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nick Vestigi, and I'll be coming in with global news. We're going to talk about the Qatar government and how they built the World Cup, all the stadiums, and how there's some backlash on it. The Qatar government says that 30,000 foreigner laborers were hired just to build the stadiums. Most came from Bangladesh, India, and Nepal, and the Philippines. The Qatar government has said the total is misleading because not all the deaths recorded were people working on World Cup related projects. So they're talking about like the World Cup, the hotels, anything that to build. It said that many died had to work in Qatar for several years and could have died from old age or other natural causes. The government has said its accident record showed between 2014 and 2020 there were 37 deaths among laborers at the World Cup Stadium and construction sites, only 3 of which were work-related. Thank you.
Our final U.S. story are the U.S. 2022 midterm election outcomes. They took place on November 8, 2022. The Republicans have taken control of the House of Representatives after they passed the threshold of 218 seats. Democrats have retained control of the Senate by gaining the state of Pennsylvania. As of right now, 42% of Americans view the Republican Party favorable for the 2024 presidential elections, whereas 39% view the Democratic Party favorable. These midterms are a large indication of how the 2024 presidential election.
Thank you. Welcome back. I'm Nick Vestigi, and I have another sports story review. On January 9th, the Georgia Bulldogs played the TCU Horned Frogs in an expected college football championship game in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Well, we didn't expect this, but it was not a good game. The 25-year-old Stetson Bennett in Georgia dominated the TCU defense. He contributed for 6 total touchdowns, 4 throwing touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. The Georgia D also played phenomenal. Kept Max Duggan in the pocket as well as they can. Didn't let us run as much as other teams let him did. Total dominance from performance from Georgia as they won 65-7. They are the first team to win back-to-back championships since 2012, which was Alabama. Thank you. Hello, my name is Nick Vasigi, and I'll be coming with another global news. We're going to talk about the Queen's death. Queen Elizabeth II, the UK's longest-serving monarch, has died at Balmoral at the age of 96 after reigning for 70 years. She died peacefully on a Thursday afternoon at her Scottish estate, where she has spent much of the summer. The Queen came to throne in 1952 and witnessed enormous social change. Her son, King Charles II, said the death of her beloved mother was a moment of great sadness for him and his family, and her loss that we deeply felt around the world. Truly a sad one for everyone in that community and around the world. Good night to everyone, and I want to thank Brian, Alexa, Davi, and Robert, and myself for having great stories tonight, and I hopefully see everyone later.